Quest 2 isn't just another VR headset, it's the one that made VR mainstream. The headset that pulled millions into virtual reality and became the best-selling VR device ever. It still powers schools, gyms, and living rooms all over the world. But here's the reality. Meta has discontinued it, which means at some point the updates will stop, the fixes will stop, and eventually the support will go too. So today we're going to talk about exactly when that's going to happen using Meta's own statements, their history with older headsets, and some patterns that most Quest owners may have never noticed. If you own a Quest 2, you've probably wondered, how long will Meta keep this thing alive? And the answer actually might be a lot longer than you think, but not maybe for the reasons that you expect. The Quest 2 launched in late 2020. It was lighter, faster, and cheaper than the original Oculus Quest, and it exploded in popularity while people were stuck at home. By 2023, it had sold over 20 million units, making it the most popular VR headset ever, and for a lot of people, VR and Quest 2 were just kind of the same thing. But unfortunately, in tech, nothing lasts forever. The Quest 3 arrived in 2023 with its pancake lenses, full color pass-through, and more power, making the Quest 2 a harder sell. Then in 2024, the Quest 3S slid into the budget spot, and just like that, the Quest 2 was discontinued. But ending production doesn't mean instant death, and Meta's history proves that. The original Quest launched in 2019, stopped getting features 4 years later, and lost updates entirely in 2024. So the pattern is pretty clear. Standalone headsets wind down in stages, first features, then security patches, then developer support, and with the Quest 2's massive install base, Meta might actually stretch that timeline a lot further than we've seen in the past. Meta's CTO Andrew Bosworth has even hinted that it might stick around longer than the usual 5-year window because of that massive install base. There's no real promises on that, but it's a sign that they're definitely thinking about it differently. So how much longer are we really talking? Well, that's where the official timeline comes in. When Meta announced they were discontinuing the Quest 2, they also laid out a pretty clear support plan, and it is a little different than what we've seen before. You'll keep getting full feature updates, new Horizon OS features, UI changes, and social experiences right up until December of 2026. After that, the headset will shift into maintenance mode. You'll still get the critical bug fixes and the security updates, but there will be no new features. And that maintenance period will run until December of 2027. Meta also says accessory sales will continue until late 2025, so you'll still be able to buy the official straps, facial interfaces, and other parts pretty much through Christmas of this year. And throughout that whole window, Meta Store support will still be available if you need help. After December 2027, though, there are no real guarantees. But that is a 7-year lifespan from launch to final patch. But like we've seen with the older headsets, the real story is how that final stretch plays out in the day-to-day use. So what does that actually look like? Well, in late 2026, you will notice a slowdown. New Horizon OS updates will roll out, but the Quest 2 won't be on the list. Any new hand tracking upgrades, pass-through improvements, or UI changes will go straight to newer headsets. Then in 2027, the headset will still be getting security updates, but you'll see more and more games skipping Quest 2 support. The store will still work, but the Quest 2 compatible label will start disappearing from most new releases. After 2027, Meta stops sending the updates entirely. Your Quest 2 will still boot, it will still run everything you already own, like Beat Saber, VR chat, super hot, but it'll be frozen in time like a little time capsule of VR history. And that leads us to the real question: what does that mean for you? Well, I wouldn't panic. You've still got over a year of full feature updates ahead, and then another year of security fixes after that. If you're really happy with your current library, you can absolutely ride it out. If you want the newest features and the latest games, it's probably smart to start thinking about your next headset before the end of 2027. And here's something worth keeping in mind. Just like the older headsets, such as the Quest 1 and the Rift S, the Quest 2 won't suddenly turn into a paperweight the day that updates stop. It's still going to have some utility as a PC VR headset for years to come. So if you mainly play wired with a gaming PC anyway, or you're running an arcade or a business that uses the Quest 2 in conjunction with other systems, you'll have more than enough breathing room to transition to something else on your own schedule. And I do feel like I have to put this out there. Regardless of how Meta's support window plays out, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to keep repairing and supplying parts for the Quest 2 as long as people are asking for them. So if yours ever needs a little TLC, or you're just really dedicated to the Quest 2 as a headset, that's kind of what we do best at Fix My Oculus. I mean, we've been fixing Quest 2s professionally since they launched, really. But I want to know what you guys think. Should Meta extend support for the Quest 2 even longer because of how many people own one? Or is it time for VR to move on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and hit like if you found this breakdown useful. The Quest 2 will undoubtedly go down in history as the headset that made VR mainstream. It carried the industry through the pandemic, brought millions of new players into virtual reality, and proved that standalone VR could really work. Even when it finally does fade, it'll have shaped the VR landscape in a way that few devices ever will. The end isn't here yet, but now you know exactly when it's coming, what it'll look like when it does, and how to keep yours useful for as long as you need it. But anyway, that's really all I got for you guys today, so we'll see you on the next one.